Ali from Little Hill Homestead. We decided to stock up on some berries with this month's Azure Standard haul. And so I thought, you know what, as I'm processing them, why not bring you along, right? So we're going to be doing a couple variety or a couple ways of canning these frozen berries. But today I'm going to show you the most basic. So we got 5-pound boxes. So there's 15 pounds of frozen fruit here. And then I have another 10 pounds, 5 pounds of raspberries and 5 pounds of blackberries. Those I'm going to do jam or jelly with the seeds in, because that's just easy. But we like to add this, just do it with some simple syrup, frozen fruit, and we add it to dump cakes. We use it in other recipes. We drain off the syrup and we add it in our little mocktail that we make every night. It's just a good way to can some fruit so you have it in the winter months, and it's easy. That's key word. So we're going to water bath can our fruit today. So I have my big old Presto water bath canner going back here. I didn't use my electric one. I feel like it sputters too much if I water bath can in it, and we have a lot today to get through. So, and our Azure pickup got pushed. So it's already 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and I've got 25 pounds of berries to get through because we don't have room in my freezer. So, you ready? Back here in this pot, I have equal amounts of sugar and water that I'm bringing to a boil to make just a really easy, simple syrup. You can do that kind of I do 50-50 just because that's kind of easy. If you don't want it as sweet, just take your sugar down a little bit. So Azure Standard, their fruit comes in a cardboard box, but inside is just a bag. This is the blackberries. There are whole beautiful blackberries. If you haven't heard of Azure, I will link it below. We really enjoy Azure, and we find that we're doing a monthly haul from Azure and trying to put some of the stuff away for winter, but we're doing little bits here and there, and it's bringing our grocery bill down every month because we're utilizing the stuff that we're buying in bulk, if that makes any sense. So I ran a whole bunch of jars. I knew ahead of time what I was ordering, so I knew it was going to be canning day. I ran these through the dishwasher, and then I stuck them in a cardboard box so that they were ready for this moment. So I have just whatever array. I have some more in the other room so I can pull out more if I need them. This is just my little strainer. My funnel. It's a wide mouth funnel. I got this at Walmart. I think they're $2.47 or something like that. They're not very expensive. So for frozen fruit, you can't can it frozen, so you're going to have to let it defrost. I wish it was a beautiful summer day. It's still like 80 outside, so they should melt fairly quickly. I have no idea how many each of these is going to do. We often will buy fruit from other places and do it, but I don't know how many jars we're going to get, so we just have the masses out today. So I'm just going to start taking our berries. These are the blackberries, and I'm just going to fill the jar too much because you're on camera. That's what happens. So I'm just going to fill the jar to the top. So each jar is just going to get filled. So the blackberries are delicious in like a dump cake. That's our favorite thing to do with fruit. You can also use them we got one big old clump. You can also use them in breads and things like that through the winter months. You can use the simple syrup. Once it's flavored, it's basically going to be raspberry syrup at that point. You can use it like that as well. I love these because they're pre-cleaned, they're pre-ready to go. So literally all you're doing is dumping. I don't have to pit anything or take stems off of anything, or no work, right? So if you looked at the grocery store at canned like pie filling and berries like this for that kind of stuff, they're very, very expensive. And so this is a much, much more frugal option if you like to have this kind of stuff put up on your shelves. So I'm going to do the raspberries. Putting a few too many in there. Like I said, they're going to sink down a little bit as they cook. That's fine. We've got raspberries that we're going to be doing. And then we've got, oh my word, you guys, they're just sliding out. Oh, don't dump on the floor. Let's just not jump ship here. We've got 3 types of fruit we're doing this way. So I'm going to do, and then I'll give you a final count. I'm not going to drag you along for the entire process for filling a bunch of jars, right? I mean, I'm entertaining, but come on, right? Nobody wants to see that. So we have our blackberries. We have 5 pounds of Bing cherries. Those I'm super excited about because they're going to make an awesome ice cream topping. Yep. And then we have our raspberry pieces. So these came, Basically, there's not really whole raspberries. It's like all the broken parts. So you get a much bigger discount on these. But for canning, it's going to be a little different because you don't get whole pieces like you would with the blackberries and stuff. But for what we do with it, it's like a hint of raspberry, and so we're fine with it. So let me get these all put in our jars. I'm going to bring you back and tell you how many jars each fruit filled with the 5 pounds that we have. So I'm going to go do that. BRB. Oh, watch your sugar. Don't let it burn. Okay, my sugar is done. All right. Okay, guys, we are back. I let these sit for just a little bit so that the fruit could completely like start to defrost. But I wanted to give you a breakdown price-wise on what we paid per box, how many jars we got, and then doing like a comparison with what I could find local to me, what our savings would be, if that makes any sense. Okay, so for the raspberries, I ran out of jars, y'all. The funny part is I had some in my Azure cart, and then I was like, you know what? I have so many jars. I do not need to order any more pint jars. So I ran out. So I used my 1.5 pint jars. I still filled them with the same amount, and I'm going to use these ones. I'll just add a little more simple syrup to them and then use the juice a little bit more on those for other purposes. So the raspberries were $12.65 for my 5 pound box. I looked up, this was at Walmart, canned raspberries in water or in syrup. I can't remember, but they were $5.38 a can. Ours were $1.26. That's a big savings, you guys. I did put some sugar in it to make our simple syrup, which, by the way, I should say, I was starting to do heavy simple syrup or heavy syrup. Then I decided I really want to be able to taste the fruit, and I don't want it to be so pungent sweet. So I did add another 8 cups of water. So I got 16 cups of water, 8 cups of sugar. So it'll be more like a light syrup. For our cherries, we ended up getting 8. They are packed, though. If you guys have ever bought cherries for like pie filling or anything like that, they don't put a lot in the jars. So we heavily packed them. I probably could have gotten 10, but I'm sticking with my 8 because I want a lot. So we paid $21.75 for the box of cherries. That's why I only bought one, because it was a little more expensive. Local to me, if I was to go buy a thing of cherries and simple syrup, these are tart cherries. They are not maraschino, by the way. They would be $6.14. Ours ended up being $2.71. So there you go. Another big savings, more than half. The last thing is our blackberries. We ended up getting 10 jars of blackberries, and they are also packed in there pretty well. These were, okay, so I could not find canned blackberries local to me at all. I didn't even realize that it's hard to find canned blackberries. I found a few from like some Amish communities. I found some pie filling, but even that was like $9 to $12 a jar. So I literally don't have a price for blackberries and simple syrup because they don't exist in grocery stores. Who knew? Even the pie filling, they didn't have a pie filling either. Anyways, our blackberries were $16.82 for our 5 pound box. That brings it to $1.68 a jar. To me, that is a fantastic price, and I'm super excited for the blackberries. The raspberries are a little bit more like mutilated looking. They're definitely little just bits, where these are like beautiful whole blackberries. They're gorgeous. So there you go. There's our price breakdown. We have at least a savings, more than half on every single one that we bought, if not more. So our simple syrup, I've had going over here. It's nice and warm. Our berries are mostly defrosted. For this, like I said, we're just doing a simple syrup. So all I'm going to do is go down the line here, and I'm just going to fill these and leave our headspace at the top. I do about 1/2 inch to 1 inch. It just depends on which one you're doing. These are going to sink down just a little bit as they completely defrost, but they're pretty much defrosted, you guys. It took me like 4 hours to get to filming from the time I picked them up from my Azure pickup. So welcome to real life, right? Did you guys see our butter tasting? The funny part is I bought some Costco butter to put up against it, and I forgot, but I did taste it after. It doesn't compete, you guys. Like, we still like the ones from Azure better. So I'm just going to go down the line here. I'm going to fill all of our jars with our water, well, our simple syrup. And then what I'm going to do is take some vinegar that I have over in this little pump. One of you guys told me about this. I keep saying it. There's vinegar in these little things. It has a pump top. I get it at Dollar Tree. I'm going to clean it with a paper towel on the top of all of it and put our rings and lids on. These are going to get water bath canned. All these ones except the tall ones are 15 minutes. These I'm going to do for 20. So I'm going to have to do a couple batches in my water bath canner to get these done. But that's where we are. So as soon as your fruit is defrosted, put your simple syrup on it, clean your lids, put it on, 15 minutes. Can't be much more simple than that, right? I'll bring you back to show you guys kind of what our finished thing is and where we are from there. But there you guys go, canned fruit. Talk about easy, right? Blueberries, we do that one a lot too, but we did that last month. I think I took you along for that. But anyways, okay, be back once we are on the flip side. But yeah, our water's ready, so we're ready to drop. We're back. It's been like 4 hours since we started this project. What I like about canning fruit is it's pretty much like it's pretty hands off. That's what I'm trying to say. Is I did all these jars today in that 4 hour range, but we had to let them defrost. And once we got them in the jars, it was just a matter of keeping my canner rotated. So we ended up with 6, 12, 18, 24, 28. Is that right? 6, 12, 18, 24, 20, 28 jars of fruit in 4 hours. So I will say, we have done whole raspberries before. This is the first time that I have purchased the raspberry pieces. And I know that they're perfect for jam, but this is the first time that I try to do them in water. And let me see, this is pretty hot still. Let me show you what they kind of did. So they definitely separated out pretty good. I don't know if you can see it. So they didn't stay whole at all, which they were pieces. So that's kind of what it is. So the raspberries are more like a raspberry juice. That's what we're going to use them as. It looks really pale down here because of the way it's settling. Once it sits a little bit and kind of goes back together, it'll definitely be more like a raspberry juice. Everything else canned up beautifully. Honestly, the raspberries, that's fine with me because that's what we wanted it for, was more like a juice consistency. So the other raspberries, I'm going to do another round of canning tomorrow. And tomorrow I'm going to do the raspberry and blackberry jam. But let me also show you the other thing we're going to be doing. 'Tis the season, right? So Kroger had the pie pumpkins for 99 cents each this week with a limit of 5. So we did go ahead and buy those. I'm going to show you guys how we do a full pumpkin to do pumpkin puree. Well, let me say, we'll also show you how to can pumpkin in cubes. If you are a Rebel canner, you can pureed pumpkin, but that is up to you if you feel comfortable doing that. Completely up to you. So I'm not going to show you how to do it, but I'm going to say that there are methods to do so. So that'll be in the other video, along with, we've done some stuff with our apples. We've showed you that before, so I'll see if there's anything new that we need to add. The pears, we'll show you some stuff with those as well. I think that's it. That's a lot of canning. I'm gonna run out of jars. I'm gonna have to make a trip to Walmart and buy some jars because I cleaned my canning rack to get ready for this and I still don't have enough jars. That's a good problem, you guys. That means that we canned a lot this year. And then, so in the middle of all this, so I told you recently that we got a P.O. box because some of you guys were like, hey, we want to send you things once in a while. What's your P.O. box? And so I was like, okay, I finally got a P.O. box. So I posted that down below. And what I didn't even mention to you guys is that somebody else had said, hey, you should do like an Amazon wish list, things that you guys need to keep your channel going because, you know, you don't make a lot doing YouTube. But this all costs us money to do. So we put a little wish list in our description down below. And a lady named Deanna from California, in the middle of all this, Amazon shows up at our house and we got the sweetest gifts from her. So I wanted to say thank you so much, Deanna, for sending stuff over to us. It was awesome. But that's it, you guys. We're going to go sit on the couch. I have my Azure book. It's Monday Night Football for my husband. And so we're just going to go have a chill night and get ready for our roof to put on tomorrow. So in the middle, I'll explain that in the other canning video that we're going to be doing, but I'm hoping it's not too loud. We'll see. Anyways, that is how you can frozen fruit. It works the same with fresh fruit as well. So if you have fresh berries or frozen berries, you do it the same. So that is our little canning video for today, y'all. But I think we're good on fruit at least a year. We'll see. It seems like once we can stuff and we have it in rotation, we use it a lot faster than we thought we were going to. So anyways, see you tomorrow for pumpkins and lots more fun. Thanks for watching, you guys.